Welcome to Money Talk with Tiff, a podcast where we discuss everything money from tips and tricks to current events. Follow me on my journey to become debt-free and meet other cool people along the way. I am your host, Tiffany Grant. Now let's talk money. Hey everyone, so I'm back with another listener request episode. I decided to take a little break from the interviews because I've been hitting you all heavy with them. So I'll do probably a couple episodes of just me, and then we'll get right back into those interviews because I know you all love to hear other people's stories and not just me talking all day. So with that being said, I had someone ask me, what happens if my school loses accreditation after I graduate? Do I need to pay those student loans back? So it depends, right? So the only time you can get your loans discharged if a school lost accreditation and subsequently closed, you have to, the school had to have closed while you were enrolled and you couldn't complete the program. And also you couldn't transfer to another school, like your credits wouldn't transfer. And then also you're eligible if your school closes within 120 days after you withdraw from classes. In those cases, no, you do not need to pay your student loans back. You can actually go to your student loan servicer and put in a request to have them discharged. Because think about it, is that fair? Like, you're in school, or say you just graduated, you just spent all that time and effort and money, and then lo and behold, the school closes down for something that's not in your control. You know, it's not fair to the student to have to pay that back. So the federal government did make, a way for you to not do that. Just to go over a few other things, a few other ways you can get your loans discharged. One of them is false certification of ability to benefit. So how you qualify for that is if a school, let's say you never graduated with your high school diploma or your GED, and they still allowed you to enroll. First of all, the whole admissions department should be fired. But not only that, that does open up a way for you to go ahead and get your loans discharged. Or they didn't properly test you or did not require completion of remedial courses as a condition of admission. You know, there's a few other things that fall under that. But if that's you, you can go ahead and put in an application to get your loans discharged. Another way is false certification as disqualifying status. So what that means is when you were enrolling, you had a physical condition, medical condition, legal status, or legal condition that would legally bar employment in your field of study at the time that your loan was originated. So that means that the school knew, the loan originator knew that you were not going to be successful in this because you had a legal reason or a medical condition or a physical condition where it just wasn't going to work, and they still gave you the student loan. In that situation, you may be eligible for a discharge. Another one is false certification as a result of identity theft. So if somebody went to school using your name, using your social, things like that, if you can prove it, that's another reason why you can go ahead and qualify for a discharge. Another one is if the student loan office falsely signed your name on the loan application, or, did something without your permission. That's another way you can get it discharged. So think about that. If a college issued an unpaid refund, so for instance, if your school failed to pay a tuition refund required under federal law and you withdrew during the refund period published by the school, you may be able to get that loan discharged regardless of whether the school is open or closed currently. So that's another thing you can look out for. If you are the spouse or a parent of someone who died or became severely permanently disabled during 9/11, that's another way that you can get your student loans discharged. And then, of course, you have the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, which most people are aware of. That's if you work in a nonprofit or, pretty much a nonprofit for 10 years and make your payments for 10 years. The rest can be discharged. Forgiven. That's the term that they use. But you have to, the caveat with that is, who knows how long this is going to be around? So how mad would you be if you were depending on this, you have been waiting for this and you're on year 8 and then all of a sudden the government's like, you know what? Never mind. You know what I mean? So, I don't recommend waiting on this type of stuff because you never know how long it's going to be in effect. And then also I've heard stories of people that qualified, they thought they qualified, but then they put in their application and they got denied. So if this is the route that you're going to go, just keep in mind that you need to work very closely with your loan service provider to make sure that you're following all the rules that you need to in order to make it happen. Part of the stipulations with that is that you have to have 120 qualifying payments, so that's 10 years worth, on an eligible repayment plan. So it's up to you to make sure that you are following these stipulations, because I would hate for you to spend 10 years paying the bare minimum on your student loans. Meanwhile, interest is accruing, and then you come to this and they're not going to forgive it for you. So definitely check that out if you are employed full-time with the qualifying public service organization or serving as a full-time AmeriCorps or Peace Corps volunteer. And then they also have teacher loan forgiveness, which I think is awesome because teachers have a very difficult job every day. I send my kids to school and I'm like, I don't know how you deal with the whole classroom of these people, these little people. But anyway, if you teach full time for 5 complete and consecutive academic years in a low income elementary school, secondary school, or educational service agency, you may be eligible for forgiveness for up to $17,500 of your direct loan or FFEL program loans. So again, this is one of those things that you need to work very closely with your student loan servicer and see if you qualify. So I just wanted to do a quick episode since I got that question on different ways that your student loans can be forgiven or discharged. If you fall into any of these categories, definitely reach out immediately and see if you can get those bad boys gone. Because like I said before, and I always say, student loans do not go anywhere. And they're even getting to a point where they are taking people's Social Security checks, garnishing Social Security checks to pay for student loans. So you don't want that to happen to you. All right. Well, y'all have a good one. That was a good question. Thank you to the listener for submitting. If you have a question and you want me to answer, be sure to submit it on my website. Just fill out the contact form with your question, and it may or may not make it to the show. Thank you for listening to the Money Talk with Tiff podcast. For free resources and materials, head over to moneytalkwitht.com. And while you're there, why not sign up for our newsletter so you'll never miss an episode? Talk to you soon.